Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Getting set up for my live stream coming up at 9 o'clock Eastern. Hope you guys will tune in. We will definitely get everything up to speed on what will be the Cowboys versus the Chargers. We've been dealing with a lot of injuries. We actually first looked at the Cowboys playing on Thursday night, having a few extra days to get ready for the Chargers. But for whatever reason, the Cowboys have literally had that black cloud hanging overhead between Lyle Collins being suspended, between Randy Gregory having COVID, between Michael Gallup, of course, hurting his calf in the game. And who am I missing? Who am I missing? Oh, DeMarcus Lawrence breaking his foot and having surgery, being out 6 to 8 weeks. We've been looking at our injuries and being like, oh my God. But the reality is this. Everybody has injuries in the NFL. It is literally a war of attrition. It's really not who's the most healthiest. It's really who's the least hurt by the end of the season. And with that being said, we're not the only ones dealing with this because the Chargers, having played the Washington football team, where it is thought to be one of the best defenses in football, which not so far. Interesting thing. I talked to my man, Roz, who I'll have on here later on tonight, about fantasy football defenses. Here's a crazy stat for you. Basically, the Washington football team has been worth 3 points for the 2 weeks. To put that in perspective, I think the Dallas Cowboys were worth 9 points last week alone. Who would have thought that the Dallas Cowboys defense would be better than the Washington football team? Just saying. Just saying. But with that being said, the Chargers. We look at that game and we say, oh my God, the Chargers. They put up 20 points to get that great Washington football team's defense. Well, lo and behold, in the Washington football team's backyard, they let the Giants put up 29. And quite frankly, it could have been 40. So maybe that Washington defense isn't quite as good as we thought. And in fact, maybe the Chargers offense isn't as good as we thought. Now, we'll find out on Sunday. They'll be at home. We'll be on the road. But the Chargers have a few problems of their own. Their starting right tackle is gone too. Brian Balaga, formerly with the Green Bay Packers, the veteran, has injured and been put on injured reserve. So that's going to make it a little bit harder on that offense. Also, cornerback Chris Harris. Their starting cornerback, Chris Harris, he's injured and going to be out. He's hurt his shoulder. That's definitely going to open up the doorway for Cedric Wilson. Makes things a little bit easy right there. Also, too, Nezar Adderley, their safety, he's hurting. And it looks like a guy who we were kind of high about. At least I remember DMV talking about him a lot. The rookie, Asante Samuels Jr., will be getting his first start. And also, too, one of the defensive tackles, it is June Jones. June Jones is also not questionable. I'm trying to think, what's the next one? Not probable. Doubtful. He's doubtful for the game as well. So when you're starting to look at these things here, their defense is actually hurting quite as bad as really ours is too. One final note here, and I'm not sure how I feel about this. Last week, going against Tampa Bay, arguably one of the best defenses in the NFL, I dare say they're better than the Washington football team, having gone through and seen what they did against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Dallas Cowboys offensive line played really well, considering that Lyle Collins was out and Connor McGovern was actually starting at guard, one of his few starts in his career. The interesting thing is, Pro Football Focus, you know the boys at Pro Football. Come on, Skip. You know the boys at Pro Football Focus, Skip. They watch a lot of football, Skip. And they say that the Dallas Cowboys offensive line is the fourth best offensive line in football. I will say they kept Dak Prescott upright. Didn't open up holes in the running game, but nobody's opening up holes in the running game. And I dare say Tyron Smith is truly back to Tyrannosaurus Tyron Smith. In 69 plays, he did not give up one single pressure. Let me say that again. Not a single pressure. So maybe that's actually right, that the Dallas Cowboys offensive line is back, baby. Now, for the Cowboys, we're going to need that offensive line. We're going to need those guys to really open up some holes for Zeke Elliott. We want to make sure that we have the time of possession. We want to play keep away. We want to help out our defense as much as possible because, let's face it, we are beat up on the defense right now. We are shorthanded. But one other good piece of news is Neville Gallimore is beginning the protocol to get back on the field. He's still on IR, but he can begin to start practicing and starting to get back in shape so that way by October, before the Giants game, he should be back on the field, and that will definitely boost the defensive line. And so that's where we are right now. The Cowboys, they're not the only ones hurting. The Chargers, they're hurting as well, too. We'll see what difference it makes on the field. But Sunday, I got to say, it's not a must-win situation, but I don't think you want to start the season out 0-2 like the New York Giants. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you in about 2 hours. Peace.